Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of Ignition Time. An extra $500 a month in universal basic income can be a game changer for individuals living in poverty, even individuals living in abusive relationships. Yes, these are the words of the former mayor of Stockton, Michael Tubbs, who championed the universal basic income experiment in Stockton, California, and is now the leader behind Mayors for Universal Basic Income, which is an initiative that actually exists, consisting of mayors all over the country who are championing the cause of universal basic income, some form of support, some form of financial sustenance for the most vulnerable amongst us, for some of us who are so desperate to get help, not because it was their fault, but because life just dealt them a difficult hand. I'm about to show you a very interesting segment that talks about how the extra $500 a month can be a game changer, for individuals living in poverty. It can create a safer, healthier, and a more feminist society. Now, in case you're wondering, what does that mean? Well, that's because women have actually borne the brunt of this pandemic, because women have essentially lost more jobs than men, specifically those in lower income levels. Let's take a look at this segment featuring the former Stockton mayor Michael Tubbs explaining the life-altering impacts of just 1 year of universal basic income. Let's roll the tape and check this out.
Guaranteed income is actually a way towards a more feminist economy where the unpaid domestic labor of folks, particularly women, is compensated. So if you stay at home, you're still getting some sort of income. And it also provides real agency. We've heard of people that have been able to leave abusive relationships because they had money for a down payment on an apartment, because they had money to get the car fixed, because they were able to establish even a small degree of economic independence. A guaranteed income is a powerful tool that will allow people to do what our most important job, to be partners and or parents. And I think government at its best should be looking for ways to incentivize those things.
Very interesting comments from Michael Tubbs. Now let's take a closer look at the initiative from Michael Tubbs, and you'll see it on your screen right now, Mayors for a Guaranteed Income. As we scroll down this website, you'll see that there are mayors across the country, yes, you heard that right, across the country, who are now supporting some form of universal basic income for their most vulnerable residents. I encourage you to check out this website, Mayors for a Guaranteed Income. And by the way, we'll provide you with a link to this website in the description section below. Get in touch with your local mayor if your local mayor is on the list, or potentially ask your mayor to join Mayors for a Guaranteed Income. Let me know what you think of this website in the description section below and what you think of the overall initiative. Before we take a closer look at the initiative, I want to tell you that individuals who live in the cycle of poverty, they have a significant will to succeed. The only thing that individuals need, the individuals who live in a cycle of poverty, is a chance, a shot at the American dream. Many of us spend our lives, many of us spend generations trying to escape the cycle of poverty, and this pandemic has pushed people back into the cycle of poverty, which is why a universal basic income can be a lifeline, can have a life-altering impact for these individuals. In fact, let's take a closer look at the life-altering impact on these individuals. Folks, there are supporters and detractors of universal basic income. In this next clip from the recount, you'll see how the beneficiaries of universal basic income use that money to change their lives, to live happier, healthier, more productive, safer lives. This is extremely important. And you'll see the initiative, the Mayors for a Guaranteed Income project that was started by former Stockton Mayor Michael Tubbs. Plus, we'll hear from Michael Tubbs a little bit more. Let's take a look at this segment, which reveals that 125 residents in Stockton, California were given $500 a month for 2 years, no strings attached. What happened? Well, you have to see it to believe it. It was a game changer. Let's take a look at the results of this Stockton experiment, because the results of the first year are already in, and they are so positive that the former mayor of Stockton, California, Michael Tubbs, is now using that data to take universal basic income mainstream with the website of the Mayors for a Guaranteed Income. Once again, here's the website on your screen of the Mayors for a Guaranteed Income project. Let's scroll down the site. And as you can see, the list of mayors that support a universal basic income is growing nationwide. Now, let's roll the tape and check out this incredible first year result of the Stockton, California Universal Basic Income Experiment and comments from the former Stockton Mayor, Michael Tubbs. Let's roll the tape.
Calling all supporters of a basic or guaranteed income? We've got good news. Stockton, California launched the nation's highest profile experiment with basic income back in February of 2019. 125 residents that fell at or below the area's median income were given $500 a month for 2 years, no strings attached. The results from year one are in, and they're so positive, they even shocked the independent researchers studying the data. The most telling results are perhaps in regard to employment numbers. When the program launched, 28% of participants were employed full-time. 1 year later, that number had climbed to 40%. In comparison, a control group of people who did not receive the $500 saw a 5% decrease in full-time employment. Michael D. Tubbs is the former mayor of Stockton. The program launched under his tenure.
I spent 3 years or 4 years arguing with people about how something as small as $500 isn't enough to replace work. And it's like, no, we're removing barriers so people can contribute and to really reach their potential. So I'm so proud.
This employment data point is huge. Supporters of basic income programs say that guaranteed money each month can ease stress and remove some of the financial burden facing those living in poverty or on the poverty line, that it can give people the freedom to seek a better life overall. But critics have said the opposite is true, that giving people money every month will disincentivize them from working, or that people will spend the money on vices. Overall, the money was spent on basic needs. Stockton participants received the money each month on a debit card, which allowed researchers to track how it was spent. 37% was spent on food, 22% on clothes and other miscellaneous home items, 11% on paying utility bills, and another 10% on auto costs. Less than 1% went to tobacco and alcohol. Another argument, the bootstraps analogy. Well, if I can do it, then you can do it, right? Pull yourself up.
Folks are able to pull themselves up by their bootstraps, but boots and straps cost money. So once folks get the resources to buy their boots and their straps, they're gonna pull themselves up, they're gonna pull their kids up, they're gonna pull their communities up.
Researchers also found that participants reported feeling better mentally as well. Tomas Vargas is just one example. He was able to take time off from his part-time job to find a full-time position. He says he was feeling pretty low at the start of 2019, but now has been able to enjoy more time with his family. A second round of research is due next year. It will detail the second year of the experiment that will cover the entire first year of the pandemic. And given the times we're living in, with skyrocketing reports of anxiety and depression, the positive mental health impacts found in year one's data can't be overstated.
They looked at sort of clinical trials of Prozac, the decline in stress and anxiety and depression from just receiving the guaranteed income was comparable to clinical trials of Prozac for the same ailments, which doesn't mean medicine isn't important, but does mean that so much of the depression and anxiety we see in our society is caused by environmental triggers and scarcity. And for me, that's just so mind-blowing. When if we just provided an income floor, a lot of those things for some folks would go away.
Tubbs also notes the significant impact a guaranteed income has on parents.
A guaranteed income is actually a way towards a more feminist economy where the unpaid domestic labor of folks, particularly women, is compensated. So if you stay at home, you're still getting some sort of income. And it also provides real agency. We've heard of people that have been able to leave abusive relationships because they had money for a down payment on an apartment, because they had money to get the car fixed, because they were able to establish even a small degree of economic independence.
The former mayor is currently focusing on MGI, Mayors for a Guaranteed Income. It's a group of more than 40 mayors across the U.S. implementing guaranteed income programs of their own. Tubbs hopes to gather even more data on just how positive these programs can be for the country as a whole. Stockton was a random selection of residents, but MGI will allow each mayor to implement the experiment in their own way.
Each of these mayors speaks so forcefully and directly and clearly about what's needed, but from different vantage points. These mayors are big and bold, and their communities are as well. I think the data is going to show if it works for every particular group, it might just work for everyone.
That's it, everyone. Let me know what you think of universal basic income. Is it something that can help individuals, and is it something that should be a lifeline as far as your mayor is concerned, as far as your town, your city, your county is concerned? Should universal basic income be instituted in your neck of the woods? Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Please click like, please subscribe, please enable notifications. I want you to know I really appreciate you. The way you can support our channel is by simply clicking the like button and by enabling notifications. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you. I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next episode of Ignition Time. Take care. Bye.